Alright, it's Wednesday, a really nice day, not much wind, lake's at full level, full pool, calm out there, so we're going to do our final test, which is a test flight of the new freshwater cooling system, full freshwater cooling system for the Volvo Penta 8.1. Now the differences are that instead of the coolant flowing out of the crossover pipe and directly to the heat exchanger, we've detoured it, run it through a distribution box, run the coolant back to the manifolds, from the manifolds to a remote thermostat housing up there on the firewall, and from that thermostat housing it feeds directly into the heat exchanger. Now the whole reason for testing in on the water load testing is because it's unverified whether the heat exchanger has enough cooling capacity to handle the additional heat loads of the exhaust manifolds as well as the engine. To my knowledge, this is the first time it's been done on a Volvo Penta 8.1. So we've completely set it up for freshwater, or for raw water. Is petcock is open, the flush valve is closed, the coolant, it looks good, the oil looks good, so it's kind of time to put the rubber on the road and light the fires here. So that's next. Alright, we've held off a little bit, hoping the water temperature would come up from the low 40s to about 60. It's not quite there, but that's a lot closer for a worst case test of cooling. We don't want exceptionally cold water running through the raw water side, so that we can get a good feeling for how well the heat exchanger is doing its thing. So no more talking, let's light her off and get things started here. Okay, fuel rate, charging the rails, that's done. There we go. And again. All right. Verify water's coming out the exhaust port. Well, that's kind of hard to do since it's underwater. Running the same thermostat and impeller as last year. They were both working fine. I didn't want to make any real changes. I wanted to get a straight up comparison. So we're doing that. We'll do the static test here, and when she comes up to temperature and levels off, then we'll untie and kick off and do some low speed tests. So more in a minute. All right, we've been running about 7 or 8 minutes now. The temperature is seemed to stabilize. The thermostat opened up. It got as high as 174, and then has since dropped back down to about 172. This is a digital readout for engine temperature, analog over here. So I think we're about ready to cast off and do some load testing. Back in a few. Okay, we're moving out into the bay. Doing about 5 miles an hour just off idle. We'll see in 174. Get past some debris. We'll kick it up to tuna trolling, about 8 miles an hour, and see what we get. In fact, let's kind of do that now. There's about 1200 RPM. Roughly 7 miles an hour. Engine temperature still holding at 172. Miles an hour, 1300 RPM. .73. Okay, moment of truth. Let's go for full cruise. I won't be able to talk because the camera will be in my mouth as I need both hands for this. Okay then, we're at 3,200, not quite cruising speed. 171 degrees, likes it. I'm liking it. I didn't want to go back to stock. All right, so that's normal cruise. About 27 knots, 30 miles an hour, right around 30, a little over 3,200 RPM. But I'm light. I only got 60 gallons of gas on board, and just me. So we're going to take her up to max cruise now, which is 3,800 RPM. I really don't want to go to wide open throttle. I suspect we have to at least put that load on. We're holding 172, which is about 5 degrees colder, but the water's still, it's not, maxes out around here about 72 degrees. We're about 59. So, okay, a one short brief blast all in. That's all in. $171, 73, 172. Yeah, that's good enough. I'm happy. Boat's happy. I'm calling it good. I'm gonna get some lines wet. See if I can put something on the dinner table tonight. But I think we can say that the freshwater cooling system is gonna work, the full system. The Volvo Penta heat exchanger has sufficient capacity to handle the heat load of the manifold, that wide open throttle.